And then by the time I get there and after I've reserved the spot, then they send me the information. They're like, okay, so it's $7,000 for the immersion program. And I'm like, I've got a lot of great stuff for the new book that's going to come out. I've still got more information that I have to research. Random facts, throwing them out there. Did you know that water has a fourth state? Liquid, solid, gas, and gel. It's like an electric gel. Really weird stuff. I'll be going over that. Yin and yang. We're going to go over Taoist alchemy. There's a bunch of other subjects that I want to cover in the next book that are all really important, and they're all very relevant. Because like most of us are running on like a 9-volt battery, while this is what a friend said. Max Reeder, he's really cool. He's got he did some great healing through some qigong. He had a master who was he was like a Mongolian monk who taught him some crazy things, some cool things. He's a good energy practitioner, and he's done some healing. You know, he has definitely healed himself when the doctors were like, yeah, you're not necessarily you're probably gonna limp for maybe the rest of your life. And he's like, I don't accept that. And he healed himself, because there's a lot of stuff that this relates to, especially energy work and improving your bioelectricity. It's literally actually increasing the voltage of your body, which really helps a lot of other things. This may even potentially be the cure to cancer, because there's a certain point where every cell has an electric potential, and when your cells are low on energy, essentially low on battery, they can't communicate as well. They lose their electromagnetic field around them, so they aren't able to stay spaced apart. They don't have the field to push them apart and the magnetism, and so they're all clumped together and they start performing really poorly and they can't communicate. And it's just, you're getting really bad performance and really poor. And this is where things like cancer come in, and it's in your interstitial, something like that. It's in this fluid. It's like 60% of our fluids. It's our largest organ in the body, that's never mentioned. But so your pH and your electricity are very important things when it comes to health. This is one other reason why, like qigong and stuff, there's actually medical qigong, and like you can literally transfer energy. You can charge someone up, give their body, some of the energy and some of the electricity that they need to perform better, so that their body and their cells can communicate and they can all maintain. Each cell has its own individual electromagnetic field. Really cool stuff. A lot of great stuff's going to be in the next book. I hope you stick along. I'm going to be traveling to California soon, probably meeting up with a couple other people, maybe then to Canada, and then maybe to Mexico, and then Canada, and then who knows, I might go out to Ireland. But we'll see how everything progresses. I would love to. I definitely want to make this my entire life, because all of this is way too incredible to be pushed to the side. It's going to take me a bit to really, there's so much research I've got to do, and it's overwhelming at times, but I'm trying to get it and compile it and lay out a path so that it's as clear and as scientific as I can possibly make it, so that future generations, so that hopefully I can change the world, because that's what I'm here to do. And thank you so much for joining me and supporting me and helping get this out. One thing I do want to talk about, MPUSA. Like, how did I get here? Why am I going homeless? Well, it's a choice. And I ended up moving here because I wanted to go to this school called Merpati Puti USA, MPUSA. The only problem is, when I got here and I actually tried, I did like an introductory class, I had done several classes online and stuff, but they were like the same thing over and over again. And I didn't have the information yet, and I hadn't done all the research. I was just discovering all of this. I really only discovered all of this after COVID, and I've just buckled down and started doing as much research as I could because you can learn the practices, yes, but I feel like I really need to know it as deeply and as in depth as I possibly can, so that I can help everyone else out. Because if you're like right-brained and you can just go with it without an explanation, you'll do really well. If you're left-brained and you need the explanation, it can get a little difficult to be like, why am I doing this? Is this the most efficient way? Is there a better way? What's the science behind it? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And it's all getting so incredible. Thank you so much for joining me. So I did go to MPUSA, and one reason I couldn't, so like I had been contacting them for months, right? Literally months. And I had been asking for the price for months. And I was just kind of like, I'm gonna go anyway, no matter what, like I'm going. And so I moved, like before I even knew how much it was, what was going on. They wouldn't give me any information, which was very frustrating. And I had to spend, I spent like $80 or $100 to like reserve a spot for the immersion program, even though I had no idea how much it was. And then by the time I get there and after I've reserved the spot, then they send me the information. They're like, okay, so it's $7,000 for the immersion program. And I'm like, I can't afford it. Are you kidding me? Like $7,000 for like 1 week of lessons? And I was like, I can't. I've already moved out here. I was like, okay, well, are you finally talking to me? Are you finally actually going to give me information instead of referring me to someone else who's never going to answer the phone or never going to get back to me? And I finally got, and they're like, okay, classes are, I don't know, it was like $150 or $250 a month, which is not bad. That's super cheap. Like I can afford that, actual classes. So I was like, okay, well, I moved out here. Let's go and do it. But then after that introductory class, they're like, okay, so I know we haven't told you this before, but you're going to have to sign a non-disclosure agreement and a non-competition clause if you want to actually learn from our school. And I'm like, I can't. And I'd already done like a bunch of research, and I had already started making my own courses at this point, because where I moved in, I had like been waiting for these guys for months. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to learn it on my own if you're not going to teach me. And so I gathered, I looked at all the other schools around the world, and I started compiling as much information as I could. I got books from Mark Komisarov, who's over in Russia, who's doing the same thing. Everyone's got slightly different methods. And I started to really piece it together, and then I validated it by teaching the kids I was living with. So I taught, 4 kids. And so I validated it, and then I was also able to see myself. I'm like actually seeing the gray on the black, and then with much deeper concentration you can get the colors, and I was able to see the lines on my hand. I could see it as clearly as you're seeing it right now. And I was like, okay, this is real. And so I dove even deeper into research, because there's so much to learn, especially if I'm not going to learn it from this school, and a lot of it's already kind of online, which was interesting. I found stuff in Indonesian and stuff, because they were releasing different forms and movements and breathing techniques in Indonesia because of COVID-19. They were trying to, because it was something that they found was very effective at helping people deal with the virus and improving their lung strength, and because this is like a big lung attacking virus, which and now we can, now I've got some of that information. I've got more information from other books and other people. I was talking to Evelyn and trying to see about going to a workshop there, which was not $7,000. It was only $800, which is way cheaper than MPUSA. It is different though. I'm noticing some of the techniques are more intuition based. Some of them are energy based. Like if you look at the Bronikov method, it's similar to MPUSA, which is energy based. And the Bronikov method is from Tibet. MPUSA is from Indonesia. The Mark Komisarov is in Russia. Evelyn, the ICU Academy, is over in Britain or England. And so all these places in different areas. And the Seeing Without Eyes, they were going to have a workshop over in Australia, and then it was like, oh, in 2021, and it was just way too much time, and so I just kept researching and doing all my own study. and the results are phenomenal, and it's really cool. You know, one thing I do want to say is if you learn from me, I want you to teach as many people as you can. Like some of these places, I would ask them, I was like, yo, if I go there and I take this class, am I gonna have to sign an NDA? After running into the first NDA that they didn't tell me until after I'd moved my whole life over here to attend this school, that after, arriving, realizing that morally, I can't do this. I have to be able to share this with people. I don't want to just progress myself without being able to actually help anyone else. I'm here to help everyone, not just myself. And so, some of the other schools were saying, like, no, we don't do an NDA, but we're going to start doing an NDA. So if you learn from me, there's no NDAs, there's no secrets. If you learn it, take it, teach other people. We have to change the world. We have to be the change that we want to see. We can't force everyone into secrecy, because all of this has been kept secret for so long, whether it's in secret societies or like deep in the government with the CIA, or like even in royal families, or like high lineages of, traditional. All of it's been kept very highly guarded and very secret. And we're at the information age. We've got the internet. We can help everyone. One person can make a world of a difference. Let's all be that person. So please take it and run with it. Teach other people. Share this information. Thank you so much. Blessings.
And our goal is not in her.